So times are a-changing when it comes to the automotive industry and the cars which people prefer these days. Now, this, of course, does vary from generation to generation, but according to a recent survey, the younger generations, the Millennials, the Gen Zers, they very much do prefer electric vehicles over ICE cars, diesel and petrol powered traditional combustion engines. So this is sure to rattle a few cages, particularly with the older generations, but let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's been saying here. Full article on the motoringchronicle.com as always. Nissan commissioned economist impact on a survey that targets the future mobility choices of young urban dwellers. The findings, based on responses from 3,750 participants across 15 global cities, reveal younger generations' preference for electric vehicles, reinforcing Nissan's ongoing efforts in electrification and commitment to sustainable solutions to meet evolving needs. Not avoiding anything, we're trying to face the future here, guys. The key respondent findings of this report included the majority, 57% of young city residents, are willing to change their travel habits to reduce carbon footprint. Those in emerging cities see environmental concerns and urgency for their mobility choices. Electric vehicles, EVs, emerge as the preferred mode of mobility, and EV ownership is expected to climb from 23% today to more than 35% in the next decade. Enthusiasm is strongest in emerging cities, with 44% envisioning drivers' first cars being electric vehicles in the next 5 years, compared to 31% in developed cities, the realities of pollution pushing them to consider sustainability. Younger urbanites reveal strong interest in innovations such as energy storage, alternative fuels, and vehicle to everything V2X, with roughly half, more than 40%, indicating these technologies will influence their mobility choices. So it's not really a surprise in a sense that younger drivers are choosing electric vehicles, because those are more accustomed, younger generations are more accustomed to them. They're more recent in their memories effectively when it comes to this. And optimism remains high among survey respondents, with more than 1/3 expecting to use a personally owned electric vehicle within a decade, up 23% from today. For the 10-year outlook, EV ownership preference surged by more than 50%, and enthusiasm is strongest in emerging cities, with 44% envisioning driving EVs in the next 5 years, compared to 31% in developed cities. Growing environmental concerns such as pollution and congestion are spurring greater interest in EVs in cities such as Shanghai, Sao Paulo, and Mexico City in China, Brazil, and Mexico, respectively. Factors that shape EV adoption highly depend on battery infrastructure and costs. Of course they do, that's fair enough. Respondents in emerging cities are more concerned about EV batteries, while those in developed cities focus on EV costs, with prices still higher than traditional combustion engine vehicles. So yeah, interesting stuff there, guys. Not a huge surprise. When you really think about it, it does make sense. And like I said in the intro, I am very much rattled the cage of the boomers and people like that. But, it's not a surprise, really. The younger people are very concerned about the environment, and they see electric vehicles as a way of, helping that. Not only on a global stage, obviously with global warming, which I don't know why people are still trying to deny that. To be honest, that is a fact. That's happening. The world is getting warmer, and it's causing a lot of problems, and again, older generations for the most part don't care as much, really, because it's not going to affect them. They're not going to be around to suffer these consequences, whereas the millennials and the Gen Zers, we're gonna be here. We're gonna have to live in this hot world. So yeah, not only on the global stage but also on the local stage as well, because it's just not nice being in a city where barely breathe, where there's just pollution in the air. It's horrible. Pollution's a real killer. It really, really is, and a lot of people don't realize how bad it is. But you can get all sorts of problems from that. Not only in the immediate term, it just makes you feel crap, but also in the longer term as well. But there we go, guys. Those are my kind of thoughts on it, and the thoughts of Nissan, really, and the respondents for those surveys. So yeah, are you a younger person? Are you in that generation and you're wanting an EV? Are you in that generation and not wanting an EV? I want to hear from you either way. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always here on the motoringchronicle.com. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Have a great start to your week. Take care.